I profoundly accept this nomination for President of the United States.
On center stage, Donald Trump makes his case for a second term.
We're a little over 2 months away from Election Day, but Governor Wolf is asking state lawmakers to make some changes to the way we vote. We spoke to an elections official to see whether or not he thinks it could work.
A solidarity rally at Shippensburg University after a racial slur is used toward a student.
Now, live from your local news source, this is ABC27 News.
Good evening, I'm Alicia Richards.
And I'm Dennis Owens. Thanks for joining us. President Trump officially accepted the Republican nomination tonight, made his case to stay in the White House for 4 more years.
A theme was safety. One message was that America will be unsafe if Joe Biden becomes president. Democrats were cast as radical socialists. Andrew Dimbert joins us live with a recap. Andrew.
And the RNC officially wrapping up here. Trump's remarks tonight similar to those he made in 2016, highlighting law enforcement, attacking opponents, and touting economic policies.
I profoundly accept this nomination for President of the United States.
President Trump closing out the Republican National Convention at the House he hopes to call home for another 4 years. As disconcerting realities pervade the Republican Party's capstone night, 3 crises are gripping the nation. Hurricane Laura barreling into the Gulf Coast, the coronavirus pandemic claiming the lives of 180,000 Americans, and violent unrest in Wisconsin following the police shooting of Jacob Blake. The president and the GOP making law and order a central message of Trump's re-election campaign.
In the strongest possible terms, the Republican Party condemns the rioting, looting, arson, and violence we have seen in Democrat-run cities all, like Kenosha, Minneapolis, Portland, Chicago, and New York, and many others.
Unlike the Democrats who are running in fear of the mob in the street, President Trump has never apologized for supporting police officers and standing up for law and order.
Vice President Mike Pence did not mention Jacob Blake's name once during his RNC address. The black man shot 7 times in the back by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Pence instead echoing Trump's rule of law platform.
We will have law and order on the streets of this country for every American of every race and creed and color.
And as the RNC comes to an end, a united theme from the GOP echoed throughout the week.
You won't be safe in Joe Biden's America.
Joe Biden is basically the Loch Ness Monster of the swamp.
Joe Biden is good for Iran and ISIS, great for communist China.
Joe Biden, who had been laying low during the convention, hitting back.
The problem we have right now is we're in Donald Trump's America. What's he doing? He's kept pouring gasoline on the fire. This happens to be Donald Trump's America. Donald Trump's America.
And scattered throughout Trump's address to Republicans and the nation, messages of America's achievements and an appeal to voters for 4 more years.
We cannot help but marvel at the miracle that is our great American story.
And now both campaigns will hit the campaign trail. Joe Biden says he's going to critical battleground states, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. Trump, meanwhile, in his capacity as president, says he will be going to areas hit hard by Hurricane Laura. Reporting live from the White House tonight, Andrew Dimbert, ABC News. Back to you.
Andrew, thank you. Local Republicans, of course, fired up about the fight in the fall. Several gathered tonight at Dauphin County Republican headquarters in Lower Paxton Township to watch the RNC. We found a few younger voters who say the stakes are high and the contrast stark.
The America where you go to school, you learn from your parents, you have a job, you work for what you want, compared to an America where you work and no matter what you are, you're going to be equal. People are going to take, people are going to be taken from, and the people who don't deserve are going to be given.
One of the most encouraging things that I've seen with this convention in particular is their ability to find the everyday middle Americans that this administration is continuing to stand up for.
The election is November 3rd.
Likely voting by mail this November. Governor Wolf would like to implement some changes first. We asked Dauphin County's election chief what he thinks about the governor's proposals. Our Sarah Gisrael spoke with him tonight, and she joins us now live. Sarah.
Yeah, Alicia, Governor Wolf today laid out a, so to speak, wish list for this upcoming election, and he wants state lawmakers to make it happen. I spoke to Dauphin County Chief of Elections Jerry Fieser, and he says he likes some of the ideas he heard from the Wolf administration, but others just aren't feasible.
If we do these things, we're going to make our election systems more reliable and even more secure.
Things like letting poll workers go where they're needed, not where they live. Jerry Fieser likes that one.
There are some areas where we have plenty of people who are interested in working, and other areas where there's just nobody who's really interested in putting in that kind of time.
Wolf wants to count all ballots postmarked by Election Day, even if received days later.
So that in case somebody applies and because of whatever reason the mail is slow, it doesn't get in time.
Fieser doesn't endorse that one.
It's election day, it's not election week.
Fieser fears mischief days after the election.
Putting too much subjectivity into a process where people should be treated equal and fair, and every vote is treated the same.
The governor wants ballots sent out at least 28 days prior to the election. Fieser says no problem, but is waiting on the state to finalize candidates.
It will allow them to actually start the processing of these ballots early, and the hope would be that we get results faster.
Wolf wants to allow ballots to be canvassed 21 days before the election to make counting faster. Fieser says the real issue is the mail-in deadline.
If we put the deadline for applying for mail-in ballots as October 19th, that gives us more than enough time to process them, get them in the mail, voter gets it, mails it, and gets it back to us.
Now, Senate Republicans say they've already introduced similar legislation in one of their bills. They said in a statement, quote, "Our proposal to increase election access, accountability, and security goes further than the governor's plan. We look forward to working with him to fulfill the legislative responsibility to ensure fair elections and trust in the election process." Also keep in mind, you can drop off your mail-in ballot at your county's election headquarters. So there are lots of ways to vote. What we are running out of is time. So mark that date, November 3rd, on your calendar. However you're going to mail your ballot in person, just make sure you're doing it safely. Live at the state capitol, Sarah Gizriel, ABC27 News.
And I hope lawmakers are marking that date. They still have work to get done before we can make all that happen. Sarah, thanks so much.
A hot and windy day. Quite the wind. We had temperatures that reached 95, which is 2 degrees shy of the record high of 97. Still breezy, northwest of 12 as we look at Harrisburg International to 79 degrees, a very warm and breezy evening. So we did have one round of showers. Some of us could call them storms, but overall it was just showers, and it looks like we're getting a second round that's falling apart, moving through parts of western Franklin, Perry, and northern Franklin counties, western Cumberland counties. We also have tropical depression Laura. It did weaken significantly, but some of that moisture will be heading in our direction. So we'll be talking more about Saturday and the rainfall from Laura. Also the fact that we don't see that heat moving into the next 5 days. Well, at least one more day, but temperatures about 80 degrees in the weekend. It's going to feel nice. We'll talk more about that 70 forecast just ahead, Dennis.
Thank you, Eric. Pennsylvania today reported 620 new coronavirus cases, bringing the statewide total to more than 131,000. Death toll now more than 7,600, with 11 new fatalities announced today.
More mid-state school districts are announcing coronavirus cases. The Derry Township School District reported a second case in the elementary school. That building is now shut down for cleaning. Classes started Monday. Will start this coming Monday. The Lower Dauphin School District says someone at the high school tested positive. It is not known if it's a student or staff member. The Department of Health is conducting contact tracing. And a third employee in the West Shore School District has it. The district will still open buildings on Monday. Remote learning begins on Tuesday.
Same story in higher education. 6 students at Elizabethtown College tested positive. 2 have recovered. Commencement, homecoming, family weekend, all now canceled. Franklin and Marshall College has 2 positive cases among students. And Bloomsburg University is switching to online learning starting Monday. 89 students and 1 staff member have tested positive.
The governor of Maryland authorized school buildings in his state to reopen on Monday. He made the announcement saying there's no substitute for in-person learning and that based on his state's metrics, it can be done safely.
New at 11, a group of Shippensburg University students are calling for racial justice, inclusivity, and a safer campus environment. The group Ask, Communicate, Teach Tolerance, also known as ACT, held a call to solidarity rally on campus tonight. They want to see change, not just on campus, but across the country.
Tonight specifically is very important just because we know, as we've seen around the world lately, it's been a lot of violent riots and everything, so we're just showing that we can peacefully get our message across as far as Black Lives Matter.
Not just around the world. Tonight's event comes just days after a racial slur was used against a student on campus.
With all the racial tensions right now, the State House Republicans Policy Committee met with police chiefs and the Fraternal Order of Police. Law enforcement said it's a hard time to be an officer.
To me, it's a human problem. We can talk about statistics and we could talk about legislation, but the issues are really trust and understanding, and they can't be legislated. They have to be earned.
The Fraternal Order of Police recommended lawmakers help smaller police departments pay for community outreach.
Coming up on ABC27 News at 11, more details on the teen arrested for shooting protesters in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
And good evening, Lewistown, Mifflin County. You are watching ABC27, your local news source.
Jacob Blake's father says he is now handcuffed to his hospital bed.
Blake was shot in the back 7 times by police. Officers in Kenosha, Wisconsin have yet to say why. Faith Abube reports.
Grief and anger poured into the streets of Kenosha, Wisconsin for a 4th night over the police shooting of 29-year-old Jacob Blake, a black man. Overall, the demonstrations were mostly peaceful. That's in stark contrast to the violent clashes the night before. Police say this cell phone video shows 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse allegedly shooting at a group of demonstrators. 2 people died and a 3rd was injured that night, but court records do not indicate how many people Rittenhouse is accused of shooting or killing. Rittenhouse is later seen walking towards police vehicles with an assault rifle slung across his chest. Officers largely ignoring him. The White House distancing itself from Rittenhouse, who posted support for President Donald Trump on social media. The state attorney general Josh Call identifying the officer who shot Blake at point-blank range in front of 3 of his children. Rustin Shesky is a 7-year veteran of the Kenosha Police Department.
While holding on to Mr. Blake's shirt, Officer Rustin Shesky fired his service weapon 7 times. Officer Shesky fired the weapon into Mr. Blake's back. No other officer fired their weapon.
Call says officers responded after a woman called 911 complaining about her boyfriend, who wasn't supposed to be there. It's unclear if that person is Blake. His family attorneys have said Blake was trying to de-escalate a domestic incident. Authorities say officers first tried using a taser on Blake before he walked over to his vehicle and was shot 7 times in the back.
DCI agents, that's the Division of Criminal Investigation, recovered a knife from the driver's side floorboard of Mr. Blake's vehicle. A search of the vehicle located no additional weapons.
The shooting sparked widespread outrage against another apparent instance of police brutality. Professional athletes also showing their support.
Despite the overwhelming plea for change, there has been no action. So our focus today cannot be on basketball.
The NBA canceled all playoff games Wednesday after Milwaukee Bucks players boycotted their contest. Other leagues, including the MLS, MLB, WNBA, and Pro Tennis, also canceled their games in support.
And this afternoon, Kenosha police adding they arrested 9 people for alleged disorderly conduct after stopping 3 vehicles with out-of-state tags. Those vehicles, they say, were filled with gas masks, illegal fireworks, and alleged illegal substances. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
Damon Turbot here now with a look ahead to sports. Damon.
Hey there, Alicia. A number of sports teams, we just heard it, joining in the boycotting of games. A running list around major sports of who's sitting out, and will there be an NBA season? More on that in a bit.
You're watching ABC27 News, your local news source.
Hurricane Laura has left behind a trail of destruction along the Louisiana-Texas border. The storm packing winds of up to 150 miles an hour destroyed homes and businesses. Neighborhoods are underwater. A chlorine chemical plant also went up in flames.
We had some wind here today, Eric Finkenbinder, and a blast of 95-degree air. Not what I call refreshing.
Yeah, I think I officially am ready for summer to end and looking forward to fall. After today, I was outside and I thought, okay, 95, the end of August. And now we're looking at probably one of our top 3 hottest Augusts on record after following the all-time hottest July on record. Give me some mornings in the 50s. That's all I want. 77 right now at the Holiday Inn Lancaster. West winds at 7. And we had westerly breezes at about 20 to 25 miles an hour earlier today. Quite unusual and perhaps a signal that change is beginning. It's a slow change, but nonetheless a change. And we even see some showers happening now. This is all that we're going to be getting, just some light showers. This is just kind of falling apart. We had another round of storms that were falling apart over us a little bit earlier this evening, too. When you take a look at the big picture, we're still going to be hot tomorrow. Still looking at 90-degree heat. More than likely, we're going for a high of 92. All of the severe weather was focused along this warm front today. That's now beginning to lift to the north. We've been saying that this front is going to kind of connect with some of the moisture from Laura. Even though we'll see some showers on Saturday, it's not going to be a soaking rain. It's not going to be an all-day rain. It's not going to be filling up that rain bucket. So if you do have some outdoor plans, keep that in mind. Yes, there will be showers. So let's iron out those details. But also letting you know, yesterday at this time, we were preparations were ready for Laura to make landfall as a Category 4 major hurricane. Now it's a tropical depression, so weakening, moving very, very quickly through Arkansas. And for us, we'll be seeing some of those showers on Saturday. Even before then, though, likely we're looking at some thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon and evening. Lately, we've seemed to be in an area that just has been void of storm activity, and a precision cast is hinting at perhaps some development. We'll keep an eye on it. I'm not convinced we'll see a lot of activity tomorrow, but nonetheless, we will see at least a couple of storms fire up. Then we get some of these showers moving in on Saturday, and you notice the nature of it. Just some of these hit or miss showers, some scattered variety showers during the middle of the day on Saturday before it clears out. Sunday looks great. Monday looks great. And finally, there it is, welcoming back those 50-degree nights. Nice to have some of those, at least temperatures in the 50s in the morning. Monday, lots of sun. Tuesday into Wednesday, Dennis, Alicia, it's not tropical related. We might actually see a nice soaking rain coming perhaps toward the middle of next week, which that is also a little bit unusual. So nice to see moving into a new month.
Eric, thank you so much. Coming up tonight, utility shutoffs are now happening when mid-staters cannot pay the bills. Who's now stepping in to help?
Tonight's military hero, Albert Wilson Black Jr., served in the U.S. Navy, did 2 tours in Vietnam as part of the Seabees. He passed away on June 17th. We remember him, we salute him, and we thank him for his service.
We just had to bring you this update tonight. This week, we ran a report on a Harrisburg man whose wheelchair was stolen. After our story aired, we got a ton of calls and emails from our viewers wanting to help. Hannah Brandt shows you what happened next.
After weeks of struggling to get around,
I appreciate this. I appreciate this very, very much.
Anthony Williams now has an electric chair again.
I thought that I was going to have to wait a long time before I get a chair again.
Just days ago, I talked with him about how a thief had stolen it from outside of a nearby gas station. A local woman and her friends saw that story and wanted to help. So she put together a GoFundMe and raised enough money to replace it.
This is my sister right here, okay? And she's the one that brought me this chair, okay? And God is good.
An unexpected but welcome gift.
What do you think of the chair?
I love it. I love it so much.
And a lesson learned for Mr. Williams.
To make sure I stay with it and don't let it go.
Who couldn't help but get emotional.
I feel so good that people help me as much as they could.
And the ABC27 News viewer who started the GoFundMe says with the money that's left over, she and a friend are going to go get Williams some groceries.
Well, that's a tough story to follow. A pop-up consignment store in Lancaster is holding a sale to help families in need. You can find more than 10,000 deeply discounted items at Just Between Friends. It's located at the old Bonton at Park City Center. Those who show up are asked to pre-register so everyone can stay socially distant. And that sale runs through Saturday. We want to take a moment to honor a local healthcare hero. Travis Willow is a certified registered nurse practitioner at UPMC Memorial Family Medicine in York. If you have someone you want to honor, go to our website, abc27.com, and look under the Community tab for honoring healthcare heroes.
High school sports are making their return to the Mid-State. Damon Turbot takes us to the golf course next in sports.
postponements littered throughout the sports world over the past couple of days, all in the name of racial equality. And the momentum really picking up today. 7 Major League Baseball contests being boycotted, including the Phillies game with the Nationals and the Orioles game against the Tampa Bay Rays. The Phillies and Nationals making a joint conclusion with their matchup. All of these contests will be turned into doubleheaders. The Mets and Marlins, one of the games postponed tonight, but not before making a unique message, joining each other for a 42-second moment of silence. That's an ode to the great Jackie Robinson. And tomorrow is Jackie Robinson Day around all of Major League Baseball. All of the players then left the field and laid a Black Lives Matter t-shirt over home plate. 8 baseball games did go on, including a Pirates-Cardinals doubleheader. Brian Reynolds among those coming up big in extras of Game 1 for the Bucks. Makes it a 3-1 contest there. They hold on 4-3. Game 2, not as exciting, but hey, Pirates are going to take it. They grab the lead in the 3rd, and they grab the doubleheader sweep. 2-0 the final there. All NHL playoff games today and tomorrow have been postponed in the response to the protests, including Game 3 of the Eastern Conference playoffs between the Flyers and Islanders. Games will be rescheduled beginning Saturday. And the NBA has voted to resume its playoffs this weekend after debating canceling the rest of the postseason slate altogether. Players, coaches, officials holding a number of meetings on deciding the best route forward, and they believe that it is to continue play, and that will happen either tomorrow or Saturday. Tough blow for the Eagles. Last year's first-round draft pick, offensive lineman Andre Dillard, tore his biceps tendon in practice today. He's done for the season. Fans at Eagles home games, not done for the season, but it is a no for now. The team announcing the schedule will start with no fans at the Link, but they haven't committed to a year-long shutout. Less than a week after the PIAA's big decision, fall high school sports are here. We have our first event of the season, and we go to the Lancaster-Lebanon League. Section 2 golf action over at Iron Valley Golf Course in Lebanon. All 6 teams in Section 2 getting in their first competitive cuts of the fall. Low scores, we all know, is the goal, of course, but just being on the course makes every kid a winner.
I know they're loving that they are able to get out here and compete. I know, with the uncertainty of this year and how things ended up in the spring last year, certain teams weren't able to compete. So just being able to get back out here is a blessing, and it's great.
And a quick shout out to the East Pennsboro football team. The first practice with a new head coach in almost 30 years. This man, John Denniston, taking over for longtime head coach Todd Studer. New coach, new energy, new expectations.
We set the tone as coaches from an energy standpoint. This is a very difficult sport to play without a lot of passion, emotion, and energy. The expectations for the team is pretty high. I think we've got a lot of talent here, and the kids have worked hard. We expect to be successful this year.
And coming up tomorrow, our first Friday night football show of the season. No live highlights. How do we do it? We're just going to call it a Sports Are Here, It's Great edition. Join Ali Berube and I beginning after the news tomorrow night at 11:15. Guys, I feel like I got my job back. We got professional sports, of course, and now we have local sports starting with golf. Really exciting to see the kids getting back out there. I'll send it back your way.
Thank you, David. Warm to be out there today, though.
95, 92 for Friday. We could see a storm or two tomorrow evening, then some scattered showers on Saturday. It's not going to be a lot of rain Saturday, but that is sort of the leftovers from Laura. Once it clears out, Sunday and Monday look great. Highs only around 80 and not so much 95.
How about humidity tomorrow?
It's still going to be humid tomorrow.
All right. That's it for us then.
On that happy note.
Thank you for being here. Jimmy Kimmel is next.
Our next report's on Daybreak at 4:30. It won't be humid then. Have a good night.